Mhm.
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So this is gonna be KTea time. This is a members exclusive stream and Patreon's exclusive stream. Only you guys have been sent out the link to see this conversation, this live stream live, and that is the only way, because other than that nobody else sees this, nobody else knows that we're streaming or anything like that. After 1 week, I will upload this episode for everybody to see, but for an entire week, this is entirely exclusive to everybody who supports this channel the most. You, my dear YouTube members, and my Patreons. The type of this stream is largely like a podcast, a discussion in between me and Mandalorian. We're going to be going over a couple of subjects, I believe. In this case, it's going to be Alliance Quest Season 8, our initial impressions about the changes. Then we're going to be taking a look at the Glory Store changes and what we think about that. And after that, we can move on to issues with Quality Difficulty Quest, because there are certainly some. There are still certainly plenty. Talk slightly about the Thronebreaker calendar as well. And then perhaps touch upon the introduction of Spider-Ham and New Scarlet Witch. That's pretty much it. So let's say hello to Mandalorian.
Hey everybody, good to be here. Happy to be here for round 2, episode 2 of the KT time.
Alright, so first of all, welcome Lawrence and Bella. I hope you guys are gonna enjoy the stream. This isn't gonna be entirely. We will read the comments, we can see them, but it's mainly meant as in conversation between me and Mandalorian, and just kind of because typically when we stream, we do our best to reply to all the comments, but we don't actually get to talk as much in between ourselves.
And this time, normally some people may watch it later, they may not watch it live, but the people that are live, if you have some good comments or something you want to point out, if we don't touch on it, we may be able to get to some of those. But for the most part, it's going to be just a conversation talking about these things. But yeah, we definitely are happy you're here.
Yeah, and what's up, Mazmaz? How are you doing, man? And, well, let's start with the big thing. The thing that kind of caught me off guard, to be honest, because I thought a new Alliance Quest season might be nearby. I didn't think it's going to be just quite as soon. I thought they might leave it for like December, end of December, starting New Year's or something. But we have the full details. We have Mutant and Proud, so that means we're going to have a new boss, Apocalypse, no more Doctor Doom. We're going to have new mini bosses, which I'm going to scroll down to. We're going to be mainly discussing, I think that's a good place to start. Let's start talking about Apocalypse and the 3 mini bosses on map 7.
Yeah. Now, interesting thing you said that, because last time we had an update, it actually hasn't even been a year. I was thinking about it because I was like, well, just before we go deep diving, but normally we see it whenever they have a really tough defender come out, like Doom was going to be the boss, and he came out in November last year. Well, they didn't actually change Alliance Quest to Season 7 until I think March. I think they actually posted about it on the early March, and then I think it went into effect at the end of March, I want to say, or middle of March.
It was
Somewhere around there.
exactly basically when Sasquatch came out, because I remember.
Right.
I think it was when Sasquatch came out.
March 22nd. Okay, it went live on March 22nd. I just found it. I found the date. They told us about it on March 6th. It went live on March 22nd. So it hasn't even been a year. And keep in mind, we used to have these seasons last longer than a year. I mean, I can't tell you. I remember having who was it? Dormammu for the longest time as the boss, and then we had who was next? Was it Ultron? And then
we had, before Dormammu, at some point was Ultron, at some point was Kingpin, Ultron. I think.
Oh, okay, Kingpin. That's what it was. Yeah, it was Kingpin, and both of those, Dormammu and Kingpin, for sure lasted a long time. I think even Ultron lasted a long time. So the fact that they've moved so fast kind of shows. But yeah, so there's definitely. I knew it was going to be coming, but I figured it would be next year, just like you. So yeah, so let's talk about these, especially map 7, these new minis and
Well, first of
buffs
all,
they're
let's
going to
talk
be
about
adding.
Apocalypse as a boss. What are your
Oh,
thoughts? It's gonna be
Apocalypse. Okay.
easier or harder than Doctor Doom? Your initial kind of like valuation. And keep in mind that most of the Doctor Dooms, as far as I can tell, are being quaked. Right? You can't quake Apocalypse.
Right. Yeah. No, you can't quake Apocalypse. And I know we haven't talked about this yet, but I just want to, go in. Apocalypse is primarily made to destroy mutant champions. That's what he was kind of made for, so to speak. Um, so the fact they're making him the boss, but they're also giving buffs to mutant champions, kind of is like, I almost feel like they're trying to bait us into bringing in more mutants and then having a difficult time when we finally get to the boss. But I don't know. That was my thought on it. But overall, I don't know, the nodes don't look horrible. Like, they could be worse. It definitely looks like you could do it, but definitely is trying to nerf, the quakes and things
Oh,
like
Quake's
that.
been hit quite hard because one Magneto has True Strike, another Magneto has increased physical resistance, which highly reduces
Yeah.
Quake's damage. And Apocalypse itself cannot be quaked at all, so I don't expect
Yeah.
too many Quakes in Alliance Quest unless there's some like very specific task for them. And I still
Yeah.
expect probably Quake for Sasquatch minis because those are probably still going to be pain.
Yeah.
Apocalypse itself vigor, which is gonna be healing him quite a bit, but it's not on modified health; it's on base health. Empowered immunity, know that you can
Yeah.
effectively ignore for most part, unless when you're parrying. Because as a defender on final node, I think he's gonna even the first fight he's going to start uh, immune to stun when he's attacking.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so he'll gain power that way
Whoopsie,
too.
my bad. And that's gonna be the trickiest thing about fighting, I think, him, because well, yeah, he's gonna be effectively stun immune for parries, and if you do try, he's gonna gain a lot of power. Additionally, taking away bleed and incinerate, and bleed especially, since it's like one of the mutants' strong points. And
Yeah.
so yeah,
Especially
I
if you
think it's
have
gonna be
like
quite
a
tricky because you're not gonna be like, I don't know, Magneto cheese him again because he's stun immune, and
yeah. Definitely definitely is going to be interesting. Let me just say it that way.
I'm sure we're gonna find quite a lot of ways. I kind of feel that Human Torch is gonna be one of the MVPs next season because he has a
Yeah.
phenomenal matchup against any mini, right? Both Magnetos
Yeah.
do energy damage, and Sasquatch and Mystic, and also Apocalypse is like beams and all that stuff.
True.
Are energy. So I think Human Torch is gonna be wildly present there.
Yeah, I think he'll be really good. Really, really good for that fight, which is nice because if you're doing the epic modifiers on the So Say Doom Day, you only have to deal with your other team only has to deal with one having to do one of the things that he wants during those 45 seconds. And Human Torch, if you're using him, you don't have to do anything. You can just ignore it completely, ignore the modifier.
Yeah,
So
what's gonna be very interesting to see. Obviously, well, first of all, we're gonna get to it in a moment. It's gonna be all of the buffs because we're not gonna have any attack penalties, right? We're gonna have
right, which is nice.
several different global buffs that affect mutants exclusively. And
I do like they're doing away with the negatives. Like, could you imagine? Like, there's been times when you have,
oh yeah,
who was it? It would be like Annihilus is the boss, but Mystic Champions got negative 40%, and it's like,
it's not
seriously?
like
I mean,
for me like
oh,
Corvus minus Cosmic Weeks is so annoying because Corvus is obviously my like go-to
yeah,
option, and sometimes we got like 3 minus Cosmic Weeks in a row or something, and it's so bad. So I'm
yeah,
happy
they
that
would do
there's
some
no
bad
penalties
things.
anymore. That will,
Definitely.
I feel as if though it will bring more standardized AQ teams. Because honestly, right now I kind of bring in different team every week, or even
Yeah,
sometimes per days. Because for cascading failure, I bring in often like Guillotine 2099 or something different.
yeah, and with my current rotations, I'm actually not bringing in Corvus as much, which is surprising because I ranked him up with the hope that I would use him more. But I'm on Acid Wash for 2 passive, 1 variant, and then I'm on like this week it was a lot of was like Clapback, which I could have brought him in for, but I ended up bringing in Black Widow Clairvoyant because they have Bleed Immune. But anyway, getting off topic here. But yeah, they're it
One
looks
thing
like
that
you'll have
was really cool though was that intercept node, 200% attack, fury buff when you intercept, and then you could use Corvus extremely well, even if not on Suicide Mastery. So Corvus just shined through that.
Yeah, that was a very fun one. In fact, we had it this week again. I think we had it 2 weeks in a row or 3 weeks in a row. It was very nice to see that after having that dexterity one for like multiple weeks, where they became unblockable after you did it 10 times. That's a frustrating one. So we got one more week of dealing with the way Alliance Quest is right now, and then it's going to change on December 3rd. So I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what the changes are going to bring.
Yeah. I think Apocalypse boss, obviously, one of the more kind of like, I think, most popular options is going to be Ghost.
Yeah, definitely Ghost.
Phase part of those specials and stuff like that, gain a whole bunch of power. You don't rely on parry to get your opening. So I think Ghost could potentially be very, very popular to take down Apocalypse bosses. But with how many bosses now? So Sasquatch rebalanced, right? Removed delayed reaction, which is very annoying.
Yeah.
And lowered his health pool. So he is easier to Quake now. Much easier, much quicker. So less timeouts on Quake. And I think
that I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think Quake is still going to be go-to option to deal with him.
Yeah, I was going to say, Quake is still going to be the MVP when it comes to Sasquatch. I'm so happy they're reducing his health by 100%, basically, because, or, it's 200% versus 300%. That's what I mean by reducing 100%. Because he's the more tankier of the mini bosses we face. And I mean, I think this is the second time they've kind of adjusted him, if I remember correctly, because the first time I think he was even worse, but I don't think it was his health, it was something else. But or I could just be wrong, I don't know. But
don't quite remember on that one, but he definitely has been pretty much exclusively Quake for the most part, because he's very annoying to deal with.
We have specific people in my alliance that bring in a Quake just to get rid of him, like seriously, and it's so helpful.
Yeah, and since that mini boss isn't really changing, just becoming easier. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but now we have two Magnetos, right? So we have the red Magneto, Polka Dot power. So you can't gain any power unless you put a damage over time on him. This, he gains more power if he has any debuffs placed on him. Flux Dispersal means that you're gonna have to consistently land your parries on him, parry heavies, because you need to land a heavy attack to deal damage, and then Physical Resistance. So this is a mini where Quake is still an option. Few timeouts guaranteed, right?
Right.
Because she bypassed Flux Dispersal, Physical Resistance reduces her damage by 40%, but you can still Quake him. You're not gonna gain any power, but neither will he, since you're Quaking, and you're not gonna get affected by Flux Dispersal, so you can still Quake him. But other than Quake, like, what are the obvious options there? Well, Human Torch, I think, would be probably one of the bigger ones, but my worry is the block damage.
Yeah, I was thinking Sunspot may be a good one because it negates that block damage by having perfect block when he's ignited. I was thinking that may be a good one also.
Yeah, Sunspot could be. And Guardian? No, Guardian's metal.
Guardian's metal. That's the problem. You got to look at it as
exactly.
Because like Archangel would be great, but he's metal. That's another one I was thinking of in my head. But yeah, I think maybe Nick Fury. Nick Fury may be good for him.
Bleed resistance, Flux Dispersal. I don't think Nick Fury is going to. The most important thing is you need champions that are really, really buff, because I think even Human Torch is going to suffer a lot of block damage, because mini bosses are way jacked.
Oh yeah, no, you're right about the Flux Dispersal. I forgot about that. But no, I was going to say I think Sunspot's going to shine because he can do perfect blocks. He can throw those incinerates on. He can gain power. I think he can do it.
Yeah, Sunspot could potentially be very good.
Especially with the buffs too. He won't get the X-Men buff, but he'll get the mutant buff when that is active also, because he's not considered X-Men. I think he's considered a new mutant, if I remember. But definitely would be a good thing. But I don't know. Who else could it possibly be? I'm trying to think. What?
The obvious, is the Human Torch, Quake, Sunspot now. It'd also be interesting to see. Because it's fairly picky. I don't think overall is going to be the trickiest opponent, though.
No, I don't think so.
I think White Magneto is going to be the biggest pain, which we can go and talk about now. Because I think White Magneto is going to be an absolute nightmare by the sound of it. White Magneto is going to be everybody's nightmare mini-boss. I can put it immediately up here. Because, well, he's heavy hitter and mighty charge, right? So you can't bait out heavy attacks, and you will have to be able to reparry and take a lot of block damage. Power struggle means that your regular rotations that require any kind of use of power will not work. Then you have True Strike, that means, okay, bye-bye Quake, basically. And Power Snack 2 means that he's going to be gaining a lot of power. And in addition, remember that he still magnetizes. And also remember that his special attacks are traversed, basically. So level 1 is going to be tricky to deal with.
Yeah, his special 1 is horrible now, because it's basically the special 2, which I cannot consistently evade, even though I do the exact same thing, I feel like, every single time. It just always will catch me, and I'll take a lot of even block damage, or I'll actually get smacked with it.
And the power struggle is definitely also quite...
So my thought on this one, and you know, I may be wrong, but my thought is this is going to be the first one we see on week 1 when they have the new one. This is going to be the first mini boss. It's going to be White Magneto, and everyone's going to hate it. And Kabam's going to have to make a change the next time they have it. If not, they don't do it the next time. They'll do it after 2 times. They're going to get so much flack. They're going to have to come back and change some things.
I know. I kind of feel that there could be a convenient way around it, though. Thanks to the power struggle, you could push him to level 2 with Power Snack and Power Struggle. And then you might need to find a champion that reliably stuns on level 1, which could maybe be Gambit.
I was thinking Gambit would be a good one.
Because if you basically, let's say, parry him just as he's under a bar of power, right?
Correct.
And you push him past the bar of power, drop your level 1, and with that stun, push him past another bar of power. And you could kind of get in a loop of baiting out the level 2s, not having to worry much about mighty charge.
Yeah, that's true.
And heavy hitter, and kind of like just abuse the fact that power struggle can give you increased amounts of power.
I'm trying to think if there's other mutants maybe that we could bring for him. I'm wondering if like well, obviously, you know, not going to be a heavy hitter, but no pun intended with the node that he has. But you know, you could bring in a ranked up Iceman, and then if you ever got him to a position where you eat a special 2 or his special 1, you know what I mean, or a level 3 that you're only going to take 5% of your damage as long as your ice shield is up, or
yeah, but power snack's gonna make it tricky to keep your ice shield active.
You just have to make sure, yeah. I mean, you'd have to make sure it's only going to help you one time, basically, until it refreshes. If it refreshes in time when you don't get killed.
So I think the White Magneto is definitely kind of like the most worrisome mini boss.
Like I said, I really feel like that's what you're going to see week 1. You're going to see White Magneto, and you're going to probably see some changes coming to him, nerfing him just a little bit. Even if not after the first time we see him, definitely after the second time. I don't think these nodes are going to be the same.
Maybe. I'm definitely most fearful at the moment. I'm sure there are going to be multiple ways, because our player base is extremely clever when it comes to finding out different ways
I agree with
how to fight and deal with champions. And I'm even sure if I gave it more thought, I'd come up with a couple more strategies. Just I haven't particularly given too much of a thought. But it definitely does also at the same time look quite tricky. And now let's take a look at the buffs themselves, right? So we have the class ascendancy buffs are gone, which I'm quite happy about. I'd rather play without them than not. Well, like this week we had a science disadvantage, right? And like Quake just takes down everything so slow, and you kind of had to Quake those later thing mini bosses and stuff like that, and it's just annoying. And I'm very happy that I don't have to deal with that. At the same time, the class wheel kind of encouraged me to use more different random champions, because that was generally one of the things that I typically did. I checked out which 2 classes are getting the benefits, and I saw what I have ranked up, what I can bring in, and stuff like that. So perhaps I'll miss that, but there's only one way to find out. I did quite enjoy that aspect, that I didn't genuinely use a lot of different champions for IQ.
Yeah, I did that too. I brought in some people that I probably never would have. I even ranked up some people I didn't think I would. just to bring in for Alliance Quest some of the time. So that was kind of neat. I still hated though when I like had Acid Wash Lane and I had to bring in like Dr. Voodoo and then I had negative
Yeah, I know.
40%.
Because
I mean, it's like, come on.
you're right there, because there are also some very specific lanes which
It's
made
just
it super
stupid.
annoying.
It's just stupid. It just made longer fights, that's all. And if you slipped up, it made it worse. But whatever. But coming on these ones, look interesting, like the gene splicing, which I know you're looking at right now.
Mhm.
That could be pretty cool.
I think this is one of the ones that I like the most, because with this one, you can just in general run suicide masteries with anyone, right? Aside from somebody
True.
that spams special attacks and just takes too much recoil, but
Right.
you take, because I'm also interested in how it's gonna work, because reduce the potency of future debuffs that type by 100%. So next fight technically you should have the both debuffs up, but you should be healing from it, right?
Correct. If you have willpower, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it could be very, very amazing and make AQ seem like a breeze for like a general fight. So you take some damage, you could just heal any champion
Heal
up
it back
for free.
up. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It sounds awesome. That's the most intriguing one I thought of too, because I thought the same thing you did. It's going to be like Silver Surfer, where he's immune and he takes 100% negative damage from like shock and incinerate and such and cold snap, but he gets healing if you have willpower. So it's going to allow you to, if you make an oops in a fight, you can possibly just regain that health without using any health potions or revive.
The other thing though, 5 seconds I think is not good enough. I think for the idea of that buff to work, because if you're gonna take 5 seconds of damage in map 7, you're dead. Right? That's 10 ticks. If that ticking for like a K or something like that, you immediately lose like what, 20k, right? It's 20 ticks. Okay, if you take 5, so when you're gonna be using mutant against like biohazard, if you're not bleed immune already, don't think it's gonna, the 5 seconds I think is quite long amount of time for that shrug off to kick in for an initial fight. So it's still gonna come with its limitations. Sorry, what?
How long is suicides normally? Like, how long does that last?
10 or 20 seconds? I think 20 seconds.
But that would count towards it, wouldn't it?
It would, but I'm talking more so of shock or incinerate or cold snap. Let's say if you're going up against Iceman, right? If you have to take that cold snap damage from huge Iceman for 5 seconds, still gonna be a huge amount of damage.
Yeah.
Especially on like later days and stuff like that. So that 5 second mark seems like quite long.
I'm trying to think, is there any Black Widow clairvoyance you face? Because hers are pretty weak. But I mean, she doesn't have shock. You know what we may see? A mid-season refresh of this where they put like Black Widow Deadly Origin, Black Widow Clairvoyant, Storm Pyramid X, and these other places that we don't currently see them.
Yeah, and maybe if we get some AQ map redesign, we can see more of those energy adoption nodes, because they are relatively weak and small. Shocks, calls,
they're small enough to where it helped. Yeah, that's true.
So those could work really well. I actually like those energy adoption nodes. I think they are some of the best nodes that Kabam has made in recent years. I absolutely love them because there are so many different interactions that they unlock for champions, in terms of like you can either willpower heal, or you can get energy damage placed on yourself and then cheese some stuff, or you can abuse and use the Silver Surfers, and there's just a lot of stuff that's happening with those nodes, and I absolutely love them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Like, I think this sets up potential. I'm hesitant. I've got to remind everyone, do not bring all mutant team. Whatever you do, I don't care what you do, don't bring an all mutant team, because you're probably going to get hammered.
Well, some people will have the luxury of doing so, but not all, because you're definitely going to need to bring in specific counter spawn.
Yeah, but
either specific fights or mini boss or bosses. But if all
look at is
finish.
Yeah. No, I was just saying the reason why I mentioned that is because the next one you're going to look at it gives you the benefit of you bring multiple mutants on your team, and I'm just like, don't do 3, guys. I promise you. I mean, you may be able to, but if your team really needs you to help out with Apocalypse and everybody's KO'd and you brought all mutants, oh my god, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, so I think any battle group that fully commits to the mutant cause in week 1 is going to get a bit screwed. But yeah, okay, let's talk quickly about the next one. We do need to speed up a bit.
Okay.
Mutagenic symbiosis. For each mutant brought on your team, each of your mutants gains the following abilities. One mutant, your offensive power is increased by 5% per mutant, so maximum 15%. Mutant, each time attacker fills a bar, generate passive prowess, increasing the special attack damage by 15% per mutant on your team. This can be stacked 2 times per mutant brought into quest. And then last and special attacks become unblockable while above 4 prowess, so 2 power bars filled, basically if you have 2 mutants at least. Additionally, for each stack of prowess, increase the attack rating during special attacks. So mutants can hit very, very hard with this one.
Yeah, this one would be good. I think this one would be perfect for like if you're bringing in a Sunspot to go against like a Sasquatch or White Magneto or some of those mini bosses. I think it's going to help out tremendously by just making not only their power rate go up on just bringing in one mutant, but if you have two, then you can do the prowess, which is going to help you even more. And then if you are ballsy enough to bring all three in, then you're going to be unblockable. You won't have to worry about that. You're going to get your attack rating, your special attacks increase. It's an interesting way it scales. I think it should be fun though to have some interactions that maybe you don't normally see.
I mean, you're gonna be able to put up some beefier numbers for sure. There is a thing that ticks me off with these. You gain more benefits per more mutants nodes though. Is because let's say if you have a champion like Domino, she's a mutant, but she synergizes best with 2 champions than non-mutants, so she will never really be able to fully enjoy the benefits and perform her best. Similar situation to Sunspot and Warlock. Those two have very kind of like essential and big synergy, right?
Right.
But you can't bring in Warlock if you want to get full benefit of this node. So I'm not entirely sure how much I like that forceful format of bring mutants, only mutants, and then first you're gonna have a lot of troubles against mini-boss and boss, because Apocalypse is designed to hunt mutants. And then a lot of mutants depend on non-mutant synergies as well, and that kind of shuts them out. Like, specifically, I'm like looking at my Domino, so I thought, okay, mutant agenda, perfect, maybe I'll have use for my rank 3 Domino, for instance. And then I read these notes and I'm like, well, I can bring in my rank 3 Domino, but I don't want to bring in Massacre and Red Hulk.
Right.
And I'm not quite a big fan of this kind of like... obviously, it's not forceful because it's all kind of like positive and plus, but at the same time, you feel like I can't benefit from it the way I'd like.
It's one of those things. If you're going to bring in those types of champs anyway, you're going to get a benefit. But if you're not going to, you're not going to notice anything. At least you won't be. It's going to be the same as it is today. You're just not going to have a benefit, and you're not going to have. In this case, you won't have any negative because they're not taking anything away from you.
Yeah,
so
that makes
it's a
it
nothing
better.
burger. That's what I look at it as.
Okay, so Mutiny. Crossfight. Entering into fight with any mutant without Mutiny passive grants them 1 persistent. You basically use 1 persistent for each fight. Grants attacker 20% bonus, ability accuracy, and 30% passive prowess. And basically, so you start with 3, then go 2 to 1. So basically, you get 60%, 20%, and 60%, 40%, and 20% bonus, and then you get back up to 60%. So ability accuracy one is really interesting one because there are a lot of mutants who kind of do depend on it.
Right.
Like the aforementioned Domino or even Colossus. Like if you increase ability accuracy by 60%, he's gonna convert armor up extremely quickly.
Exactly. Yes, that'd be really nice. This one has some interesting things I think that could be cheesed. It just has to. We have to see it in action to kind of figure out. But it's not a horrible one.
It's definitely quite nice, and I like that this is the one that doesn't force you to bring in a full team of mutants. Right? You can just bring in
this
one.
One you can bring in one mutant and be happy. That's kind of nice.
And then we have Exercise Dominance, and now we're switching to the X-Men ones. All X-Men tagged attackers gain a 100% chance to gain 1 unblockable passive when launching special attack. If this champion's special attack breaks the opponent's block, gain a passive fury granting 1500 attack for 10 seconds. So basically, any mutant, any X-Men can gain a huge, quite big fury, let's say it like that, for 10 seconds if you shoot your specials and block.
Yes. Basically, this one sounds like, again, a little smaller subset. Smaller subset of mutants, because all X-Men, and not only that, some are not mutants, like Phoenix.
Like Longshot. Longshot sounds like he could benefit from this quite a bit.
This one, I was gonna say Longshot would be a good one. It kind of is like that mentality from like Hulkbuster. You want to do the special into a block, because if you do it into a block, you gain that fury, which gives you the attack bonus from the fury. Um, so I kind of think that's the way to kind of look at it is you want to throw a special attack into a block so you can gain that fury and then go crazy on it. So definitely seems like there's potential to be some fun and interactive damage you could be dealing.
Overall, I think this one's going to be quite subtle. You're probably not going to use it all the time or half of the time, and when you use it, it's just like kind of like a nice bonus. You're not going to be specifically planning on it, I think. It's just kind of like a nice just in case thing.
Let's think of it this way though, but if you have a chance where you go unblockable, you go and throw the special into the block, you unblockable for that a special attack, then you go in quick enough, you can build to another special one and keep that fury going, because 10 seconds, let's say a special attack lasts 3 seconds, you have 7 seconds to get another bar of power and do it again. You can constantly keep that fury going, I think, or at least close to it, and keep that damage up.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. But overall, this definitely isn't the one that I'm like most excited for.
No.
Okay, so escalation. Based on the number of X-Men tagged champions on your team, X-Men attackers gain the following benefits when the opponent is knocked down. These effects all last for 10 seconds per X-Men on your team. Gain a vigilance passive, gain true accuracy passive. X-Men tagged champions can block unblockable specials. The block unblockable specials, I'm not sure how much we get to face unblockable specials in general. I mean, like, currently in map 7, not too many of them, is there?
No, I think that one's kind of like I think that's why they put it last. We're not going to really see it a lot. We're not going to really use it a lot. Honestly, I wouldn't bring in 3 only X-Men also, but that's just me. The true accuracy, kind of nice. The vigilance is not bad either.
But again, I kind of wanted to say I really don't see too much like evade or miss mechanics in AQ map 7. There is obviously the spider path, but that's just about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There are that, or there's I forgot. Is there a mix master path? There isn't. I don't think. Is there?
No. Oh, there is a tunnel vision though.
Oh yeah, there's tunnel vision. Yeah, so they could do it for tunnel vision or something, So it could help with specific paths, bring in another counter that you may not have the right counter for. Or
yeah, but this again seems that it'll only be helpful for like very, very few people, like maybe 2 people of an entire team, because
it's not going to help
see that much.
It's going to be niche, very niche.
Yeah, so I think this one's a bit of a fail, to be honest, because it's going to be not having any impact on most of the team.
I would watch a mid-season change for the Alliance Quest Season 8 is going to probably change this one. I guarantee it.
Probably, because like from offset, it kind of looks quite useless.
Yeah, I think they'll change that one. And then, oh my god, this is the stupidest one in my opinion.
Okay, May, okay? Okay, yes. Okay, Cyclops is good now, cool.
But we don't know if it's going to be both Cyclops. It only shows Cyclops red there, and it says champion, not champions.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think it's going to be the red one only.
Probably, which is stupid in itself.
Yeah. But again, I don't think anybody's really gonna rank up Cyclops just for AQ, or very few people at the very least, and
only the people that have nothing else better to do, probably, or just want the memes.
Yeah, I think
so. After that,
I don't think it's gonna serve much point. Anyways, let's move on to the second subject. So this first one is quite big because there's a lot of things changing, and overall, I'm somewhat worried because they're taking away the most kind of like prominent anti-potion method, right? Because Quake is ultimately the champion to save the most potions in IQ that people rely on. They already have hindered with Corvus and his G-Death mechanics, now they're messing up with Quake. And hopefully AQ is still like tolerable, because there was a period in time when I preferred AQ over AW. And now AW is more enjoyable, and AQ has been made less so. So hopefully it can bring AQ back up to a relatively decent standard, at least with something very fresh to deal with.
Definitely. I think that it's going to give us a little bit more. They'll try and challenge us a little bit ways, but I think we're going to get some more benefits. Hopefully it doesn't become like a chore, like more than it already has. But yeah, so Glory Store.
Whoopsie.
I think this. What happened?
No, it's all good. I'm just gonna need to switch
Glory
to different
Store,
scene for a second.
I think me and you are in agreement here because you made a video on it too. they kind of screwed over Cavalier players big time.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that image that I used for Glory Star comparison.
Okay.
And open both of them.
But the truth is, why would they put Uncollected and Cavalier in the same category and not Cavalier and Thronebreaker?
Well, to be fair, Uncollected
because...
and Cavalier are in the same category right now.
Correct, but that's more of a benefit for Uncollected players, and it has no benefit for Cavaliers. So
yeah, because that was kind of like the highest progression.
Yeah, it's for them to say, well, you were Cavalier, but just because you can't rank 3 somebody, even though you have, I mean, you can't say someone that did Act 5.2 is on the same level as someone completed all of Act 6 just because they don't have a rank 3 6-star. I think that's really crappy of them. I think this was the time they could have allowed, especially because of the biggest change being that they have the ability to purchase 5% random 6-class fragment crystal for T5CC every week for 2,700 glory. I mean, was it really going to hurt Cavalier players? If anything, it would help them try to get the Thronebreaker where they have access to those different deals and things. And I think that was something they missed.
Well, I think the first thing... Okay, I think before I want to kind of like proper... be unhappy with them about messing with Cavaliers. Let's just go to the
actual changes. I'm sorry.
Let's just go to the most important ones, right? So the most important changes there would be the addition of T5CC, which I do think for vast majority of the players is extremely overpriced. They are currently valuing one T5CC shard as 20 tier 5 basic shards. So basically for you see what I mean, like when you compare 2700 for 2700 glory for, it's 2250 tier 5 class catalyst shards, right? 5%
yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it's 250, right? For that you can basically buy 3 of the tier 5 basic sets, and that would put you up as 20,000, 21,000 something. So basically for every tier 5 class catalyst shards, they have the same price tag as 20 tier 5 basic catalyst shards, which I think is just unreasonably expensive. And when you consider how little glory you kind of like get, and that you need to balance it all in between potions and between the rest of the resources, and how cheap are the rest of the resources now in a tier 5 class, I'm probably not buying it a lot. I'm sure there's going to be somebody who is, but
it's, I mean, it's just overpriced. It's overpriced.
And
that's why I kind of feel like for being for Thronebreaker, that's extremely overpriced.
Yeah, I think that could be Cavalier price, maybe.
Correct. Yeah, that's why it drives me crazy. It's like we should probably have a 10% for Thronebreaker and put that 5% down for Uncollected, and it may make more sense, but I don't know.
Still doesn't. But yeah, anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there. I think tier 5 class catalyst fragments are well overpriced, so especially because you get 10% for free just for doing the epic modifiers. Then if you rank anywhere in top 50 now? Where's the rank reward chart? I do have it next to me.
It starts 45. 45 doesn't get it. Top 30 gets it. Top 30 gets the T5CC fragment.
So if you rank, top 30 is quite small pool, but that still gives you like another extra 4% or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just,
I'm in top 45 and I don't get it.
Yeah, it just seems way overpriced to me at least. So I'll probably put it on the back burner, and if I ever get close to max glory. But other than that, I think we have much better sources to get it from side event, Cavalier difficulty, whatever you have, for to use that much glory, because glory is very useful resource.
Yeah, I will say to everyone waiting for this update to go live, because it does discount a lot of things and give access to things that
I'm not spending my glory really.
Don't buy anything with this week's glory. Yeah. This week or next week, wait till the refresh when wait until December 3rd, basically. That's what I'm saying. Do not buy anything with your glory except for potions between now and December 3rd if you're wanting to purchase these new items for cheaper, or even if you need these items, just wait.
only exception really is just the level 4 Alliance health cache potions, because they're not changing price on them again. They haven't changed price on them in like 2 years or so, and that annoys me so much, especially because since they have released the bigger potions.
It's stupid that you have these lower potions and you have them such a high price still. They're doing that because they don't want to give us a better value for free. You know, they want you to buy the, I think, level 4 single potions for Lions Quest and Lions Wars, like 80 units each.
Yeah, but even if you compare now, the price of an Lions Quest potion and Glory Star is getting to the point where it's pretty much criminal. Right, if I'm going to zoom in now, you have Alliance potion at 260 glory.
260, yeah.
Right?
It's ridiculous.
And you get tier 4 basic catalyst for 200. So a single potion costs less than tier 4 basic catalyst. If you put a unit value to that, 6,000 potion, it's what, 60 units now? Because you can buy equivalent for 60 units or 90 units or 80 units on a bigger one.
Correct, yeah.
So
it's 60 units for that one, yeah.
They, via the Glory Store for Thronebreakers, value the tier 4 basic catalyst at like, what, 40, 30 units? 20 units?
Probably 30 units.
Yeah,
probably 30 or 20. Somewhere between 20 and maybe 25.
Ridiculously cheap is a tier 4 basic catalyst now compared to a potion, right? Because a single level 4 potion is going to cost more than double, 2.5 times what tier 1 alpha catalyst costs. It costs more than tier 4 basic catalyst. It costs goddamn near the same amount, a third of tier 2 alpha cost. Tier 2 alpha 10,800 is 300, right? And this is 260.
Yeah.
It's
ridiculous.
I really hate that.
It's just showing how stingy they are with, I mean, because everyone, if you're in map 7, I'm sorry, you either use a revive or use health potions. You do.
You do, actually. I do sometimes. I do use revives mainly, but not many potions, to be honest. But looking at this,
free ones.
But looking at this, like, and looking at how much more valuable Glory is getting in comparison to cost of potions, I'm probably just gonna start grinding more units and trying to buy those potions, which is what exactly Kabam wants people to do, which I hate, because there is no good way to justify spending that much on a couple of lesser quality potions if I could get several tier 4 basic catalysts and tier 2 alpha catalyst fragments and stuff like that in exchange.
And we also say that why are they still leaving it as a 1 maximum per week for a level 1 revive? I mean, seriously?
Yeah, well, everybody uses loyalty for those anyway, so I'm not fussed.
But yeah, I know. But the other thing too, I'm just saying, just even if you're going to use that as an option, like you're desperate, you need that. Well, why the heck do we have a regular gold crystal in there at Thronebreaker also? I mean, come on. Stupid things like this. This is what I'm like. Seriously,
it just shows that they don't pay attention to a lot of stuff.
They're kind of blind. They kind of forget about the things that don't matter, and then they leave them there, and it's like, no one's going to buy those. Why do you even have them there? It's stupid.
It'd be interesting if they ever publish the data of how frequently, like, what item gets bought and stuff like that. There's a lot of data I would absolutely love looking at, like, in how many popular AW defenders. I'm trying to collect my own data now for Alliance Attack in Tier 1. And other things, but
which is interesting. I love data. I love that kind of data, so I'm kind of curious to see some of that.
Yeah, let's talk about Uncollected and Cavaliers. So currently, Uncollected and Cavaliers share the same Glory Store together with Thronebreakers, and historically, before the Thronebreaker got introduced, Uncollected and Cavaliers also used to share the same Glory Store. Now, my gripe is that Cavaliers all of a sudden are kind of getting treated like second-class citizens on a title that has been retconned in specifically for this big money-grabbing Cyber Weekend sale.
Yeah.
Because we discussed that in previous week, how the Thronebreaker title should have been in Act 7, 100%, nobody can tell me otherwise, but they butchered Act 7, so they had to retcon it in, tie it up to Act 6.4 plus the Rank 3 requirement before the Cyber Weekend sales, and now, if you're not quite there, you're getting significantly worse deals than the Thronebreaker people. Even if you're pretty much the same place. Like, I'm sure there's so many people in same alliance where maybe half of them are Thronebreakers, half of them are not. Even though they play the same amount, they as skilled as each other, spend or don't spend the same amount, but basically all the difference has been RNG luck.
Correct. it's ridiculous. And the fact that the Glory Store doesn't allow Cavalier players to have an option, even as bad of a cost as it is, to get an extra 5% of a random class that could help them get that rank 3, that's even worse in my opinion. I think that their Cavalier should not be condemned to this glory store as much as it has been after the Thronebreaker title. That's my personal opinion. I think you kind of agree, but that's how extreme I look at it.
I think Cavalier people should have had access to the Thronebreaker store, or they should have made 3 different stores for Uncollected Cavalier and Thronebreaker, because there are significant differences of top and bottom end of people who have access to the same glory store. Uncollected people, well, you can get uncollected with rank 3, rank 4, 4 stars if you're trying hard enough. Let's say most people do it with max 4 stars, or maybe one rank 4, 5 stars, something like that. Right? And then same time, at the top end of Cavalier, there are sitting people with 20, 30, rank 5, 5 stars who have beaten Act 6, working on their 100% exploration there. And maybe they can't do Abyss or haven't yet quite managed to do so, or maybe even have done initial Abyss completion and just don't have the class catalyst with any worthwhile champion. Like you saw in our streams previously, we had a guy who is about to rank up Agent Venom because he has only one skill 6-star and a skill tier 5 class catalyst crystal.
A little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. I will say, and for those watching post live, we don't interact with the chat the same way we do with our live streams, but Maz makes a good point here, and I want to read it out. It says, "In all fair, Cavalier shouldn't just be doing Act 6.1. Cavalier title should have been given once you defeated 6.26 champion, like in Uncollected." And I agree with you there. I think that's why that fight was so difficult. However, it's the same reason why there is a Thronebreaker right now, in my opinion, is that Kabam wanted deals based on Cavalier at that time, and 6.2 was not out yet. So what did they do? They moved the Cavalier title from 6.2 to 6.1. Said this is where you're
oh
going
my
to get
god,
Cavalier
we need to
now.
interrupt this one though.
So what's that?
I just checked, and that hello came from Glostang, man, and Glostang did an absolute baller move once again. So I do have to say a huge thank you to him. For his generosity, because he has been an absolute fire, and I at the best of my intentions, I cannot look past that. So we're gonna interrupt the podcast time just to say that Glostang is an absolute beast, and thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Thanks,
That's why you're the OG.
He's actually changed his name. He was saying that earlier. We didn't really touch on it because it's like, again, not normal chat, but Kalastang now goes by Real Sensei C. So we should probably call him Real Sensei C.
Yeah, I'll ask him how he how he wants to go forward, and then maybe I'm definitely the description. But yeah, again, huge thank you, huge thank you for that.
And but, for those that know, he just gave a huge donation to the lovely KT.
Yes. Right, but yeah, the Cavalier type. So yeah, anyways, I think the discrepancy in between the players is just far too big to be left in the same glory star.
Correct, yeah.
It literally includes everything from people who are playing a month or 2 and know what they're doing or how been like trying to play hard, to people who have played this game for 4 or 5 years. It has like by far, I think, the biggest group of players in the same glory store, and it doesn't work for me.
No, it's completely wrong. They should have done one of 2 things. They either should have had Cavalier be the same level as Thronebreaker, or split off Cavalier from the, if anything, hurt uncollected players and just move uncollected down to the same as Challenger, Contender, Proven, and Conqueror, which I think would be crappy too, but it'd be better than what they did.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but yes, I think that the updated stores, the buffed one that uncollected Cavaliers get now, I think should have been exclusive to Cavalier players, included Tier 5 CC fragment, because it is better than it used to be. And uncollected maybe should have gotten a tiny buff or left exactly as it was, and it kind of, I think, give quite big of a boost and encouragement to jump to that Cavalier level, because realistically it's definitely doable, and it will be just so much more motivation for people to try harder to get to that next point.
Because if I'm an uncollected player, okay, this is me looking right now. If I'm an uncollected player and I decide, hey, I want to jump to Cavalier, I'm going to look at it first from the aspect of, have I pulled someone I want to rank 3 as a 6-star yet? If the answer is no, I'm going to wait to even get to that level most of the time, because I know that I really need to push not for Cavalier, but I need to push for Thronebreaker. And the only reason why I'm going to get there is by getting somebody that I want to rank up as a rank 3, and then get the materials, hopefully, in the RNG system to get to Thronebreaker. That's kind of my look on it from somebody who hasn't completed that yet.
I mean, like, I think, I guess you'd progress the Cavalier naturally, but
Right.
just saying that
But not to push for it.
I don't know, it just doesn't smell quite right. I don't think Kabam put in a lot of thought at all in what they did to the Glory Star, or if they did, they definitely didn't have the player's best interest at heart doing so.
For all the things they've been doing right, they've been doing about 5 things wrong for every right, or maybe that's overacting. Maybe 2 things wrong for every 1 right they do. This was definitely a wrong. And I hope they correct it, but I don't think they're going to correct it by the time it launches. I think we're going to see maybe a change sometime in the future, but from what I'm seeing, they're going to marry those Uncollected and Cavalier together, which I think is the wrong way going forward.
Yeah, and even if there's going to be a change that addresses some of these issues with the Glory Star, then I don't think we're going to see it for a good 4 or 5 months, because I don't change it that often.
It'll be a mid-season change. Just, you'll see a mid-season change. So we're stuck with this for 6 months, let's say.
Yeah, and looking at the rewards, the rank rewards, what do you think about that? I think overall
positive, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't have too much to complain there, except aside from the warning that I uploaded in my previous video as well. Previously, spots 91 to 800 used to earn from 2.4 to 3 tier 4 class catalyst crystals, and now they have taken away all tier 4 class catalyst crystals. And this is me coming purely from my personal experience. My tier 4 class catalyst is gone. Like, my stash is gone. I'm taking,
I'll say that's been kind of a struggle for a lot of people I've heard too, is once you start ranking up a lot of the champions, even the same champions, your class catalysts just go away, and they're just not giving away.
Because 6 stars need them so much. Yeah. So many.
I mean, 6 stars, it's ridiculous all the resources you need for them. Like, I've heard that once they let out rank 4s, you're actually going to have to promise your firstborn to Kabam. It's insane.
But yeah, so third point of warning, if you rank anywhere in between spot 91 to, what is it, 1200 or 800, spot 800, anywhere
top
there,
800.
Be very cautious of your tier 4 class catalysts. Do not take them for granted, and the moment you start focusing on 6-star champions, that stash will dwindle, and this is going to be a large reason why, because let's say this change happened, let's say, for us, they took it away in the last couple of iterations, so let's say about a year ago. Think about it, or a year ago, so in a month average, you basically, let's say if you got spot 100, right? You used to get 3 of these tier 4 class catalysts per AQ week, so it means you got 12 a month-ish. And then when you take it across the time period of a year, that's basically kind of like 140, 130 tier 4 class catalysts that you're going to be missing, and it really does add up.
I will say there's 2 things, playing devil's advocate here, there's 2 things that Kabam has done to kind of help with that, so to speak. By giving you more T2A, you won't spend that in the Glory Store. Possibly you spend it for the fragments of that T4CC that you see when it randomly comes in.
Wow. I have quite frequently found myself using my Glory to buy the tier 4 class catalyst.
Well, right, but I'm just saying, think of it this way. Think of it this way. Let's say you are someone in that 90 to 800 range, okay? And let's say each month or each week, I mean, you're using your Glory because you want to get an extra. Because let's say let's go to the bottom of it, 800. They get 2,400 versus right now they're getting 11,000. So they get 24,000. I mean, instead of 11,000. So that's over double what they used to get in T2A. So let's say they used to buy a bunch of T2A with Glory. Well, now they can kind of focus on getting a guaranteed class that they want of T4CC with that Glory. Granted, it's going to be a lot less than what those crystals
exactly. So effectively, my main message here is do not underestimate the lack of tier 4 class catalysts, because it's more than likely that the Glory that you think you're going to be saving due to increased AQ rank rewards, you're going to end up spending on tier 4 class catalysts, and effectively de facto won't actually benefit nowhere near as much as you thought you would, because you previously didn't think about using Glory for tier 4 class catalyst, but you sure as hell will now.
Yeah, it's something to think about, but I see where Kabam was trying to go with it. I still think it's wrong, but I'm trying to play devil's advocate here and I say devil's advocate because we all know we
You
don't
know,
fight each other in
I
Alliance War, we
personally
fight the
find it
game.
very wrong and very annoying because they consistently, several times a week, put tier 4 class catalysts in paid offers with
Oh
selectors.
yeah, yeah, they do. They
And
do that because
now I
they
look at
know
those offers, and that is one of the bigger incentives. They're like, I need those. Like,
it's changing the game to give you more of what used to be what they made you pay for, and now you're getting a shortage on things you used to get, so they're making you pay for that
yeah,
now.
exactly.
It's
It's just
always
kind
going
of
to be a
like swings
give
and
and take.
roundabouts with them.
Always a give and take.
Right. Anyways,
Always is.
let's
Always will.
let's quickly touch up on next month's champions because
Sure.
we are running towards the end here. I do not want to
Yeah.
register now too long. Obviously, I do not have any intention to
Yeah.
cut it off abruptly. But so, what are your thoughts initially about Spider Ham and Scarlet Witch? Because there are a lot of very, very, very mixed opinions.
Well, let me just say it off the bat because I know this is going to be a very controversial opinion. Spider Ham will be the Science Corvus. Drop mic. That's it. I'm done.
I do see Spider Ham. No, wait. First of all, no matter what I see or what I don't see,
Yeah.
think how amazing would be if Spider Ham is the best champion of the year, an absolute powerhouse, and everybody ends up using Spider Ham for an entire next couple of years.
I would love it, man. Because if they make him another Howard the Duck, I'd be so pissed. Because I'm like, that's a wasted opportunity to make what looks like it should be a meme, an amazing champion. I hope they go the opposite route. I really do think it'd be awesome if he is a Science Corvus. If that ends up being true, I said it here first, damn it.
I just personally think it would be extremely funny, extremely troll. Would take big stones to make Spider Ham insanely amazing, so that everybody ends up using that champion. And like YouTube presents massive like Alliance War top attacker, top defender, everybody's fighting consistently against and with Spider Ham. And I think it would be well funny.
Wouldn't you love to see that like the title Spider Ham breaks 5-star featured record in millions to get him? You know, I mean that would be insane.
Like hashtag save for Spider Ham or something like that.
Save for Spider Ham. Anyway, yeah, it could be interesting. Definitely looks like it could be a fun character. I like when they do their fun characters, as long as they don't make them horrible. Venom the Duck was the last fun one I can remember. Besides, Warlock was funny, but he's more realistic funny. Obviously you have Howard the Duck too. Gwenpool's kind of funny, you know. I like when they do their funny stuff. Hopefully they can make it work.
This year Kabam has gone lazy though. They didn't do any OG characters.
Well,
which is surprising.
I'm still waiting. I don't know about you, but we've seen models in the game sometimes during story event quests and stuff, and they made them in the game. You just want to see them come out as a character, like we've seen Jessica Jones, for example.
Yeah.
But I will say, I am still waiting for the day I can get my chair. Damn it, I want my chair.
No, okay, chair would be too much, I think, but chair would be too much to handle.
But Spider Ham has potential to be good. I think he does. And
I do have a low-key feeling that Spider Ham could potentially be very, very kind of like prominent champion. Even though I don't think he's going to be like an absolute insane must-have seat everywhere, because 2020 typically hasn't released pretty much any champions that are kind of like die hard, like use them everywhere all the time. They have made several duds, but they've also made several very useful, well-balanced champions that fit in the game well, but aren't absolutely mandatorily necessary to clear content. And in fact, many of the 2020 champions are quite significantly inferior to some of the 2016, 17, and 18, and 19 champions.
Yeah, no, definitely I agree with you there. But I think he has potential to be good if he does well. Now, kind of switching over to Scarlet Witch 2020.
Yeah.
I would hope they make the model that we saw from the leaked screenshot, and it was just a model from the loading screen. Looked pretty awesome. It looks like a combination between old school Scarlet Witch and the one from we've seen in the MCU / WandaVision.
It's kind of
show that's coming out in January.
Yeah, what I think it's going to be is because it's coming out in January, but I think initially they wanted to release it in December, didn't they?
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken, the WandaVision was planned to come out in 24th, 25th,
Yeah.
25th December.
25th December is when the Mandalorian would be the first week. It didn't have a new episode, so everyone thought, okay, WandaVision is going to start on the 25th, and I think they delayed it like 3 weeks.
And so I think that's also part of the reason why she's there specifically, kind of like for that launch. Which once again is pushed back.
Yeah.
But overall, I do think her ability set is going to be much more MCU based. So I think it's going to be like less of a chaos magic type thing. It's going to be more of what she actually has done and is doing on the screen.
Yeah.
Don't have too high expectations, to be honest.
I don't either. I think what we're going to see is what would happen if they wanted to release a MCU movie / TV friendly version of that character today.
Yeah. And let's face it, majority of the champions that come from MCU suck in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
Vast
Black
majority of
Widow
them.
Deadly Origin, I'll tell you, Black Widow Deadly Origin has actually started to grow on me because I really like how she plays.
And, okay, Black Widow Deadly Origin is very new. She's not awful. Yeah. She's not great. But starting from the older champions, Ant-Man and Yellow Jackets, they stink.
Yeah.
Black Panther Civil War, who stinks.
I'm just looking at the more recent releases. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, even so like what Thor Ragnarok, still done.
Well, okay, but Red Guardian is pretty decent.
Yeah, I suppose so, but we haven't technically seen.
He's not horrible.
But anyways, I generally expect Spider-Ham to be the more hyped and more in-demand champion than Scarlet Witch. As ridiculous that sentence is, I don't think Scarlet Witch is going to be all that. I hope I'm wrong, because obviously I have no information to go off.
Would love to be wrong with that one, seriously.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Scarlet Witch, obviously a good Scarlet Witch in game, because the OG Scarlet Witch, despite Kabam Mike saying it will break the game as a 5-star, she didn't. She's hardly used, she's largely a trophy champion, she's unreliable. Obviously she can do some stuff, but there are well better Mystic Champions in game right now. And speaking of Mystic Champions in game, Mystic Loss has been on steroids this year.
Love it. Well, there was what was it, the year that Symbiote Supreme came out? That was the only Mystic we got that year.
Yeah,
so
I think
I'm glad we're seeing
218,
no? Resurgence. Yeah.
And 219 we didn't have many Mystics either. I think we had like 2.
Yeah, let me see. I can tell you right now. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I don't remember, but I think 219 was Doom and Diablo or something.
Yeah, Doom and Diablo for sure. Let me see. MCOC champion release. So in 2019, we had Doom, obviously. We had Man-Thing. We had Black Widow Clairvoyant.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So we had a few. Yeah. And then we had Ebony Maw. And then we had Diablo. So we had a few in 2019. But before that, there was only a big growth. Supreme in 2018.
And right now, this year, we get Mojo, Longshot.
Mojo and Longshot in the same month.
Sorcerer Supreme,
Tigra, Sasquatch, Dragon Man. I think that's it so far.
Yeah, so this is gonna be 7th one, I think, this year.
Yeah, if they release that one, it'll be a 7th one, unless they decide to make her tech. I'm joking, but I'm just
because she has a cell phone in her pocket.
Or they make her cosmic. They could make her cosmic. I'm not even joking with that, because they're saying that Scarlet Witch got her powers from one of the Infinity Stone, which is cosmic, so they could make a cosmic Scarlet Witch.
Oh God, please no.
If they make a cosmic Scarlet Witch, I said it here first, everybody. I want everybody to post back to the stream on, was it Sunday, November 22nd at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. I have said they're going to make a cosmic Scarlet Witch if they screw with her.
Okay, but yeah, Spider-Ham, Scarlet Witch. Overall, I am quite excited about. I think I'm excited more about Spider-Ham, but I'm definitely more looking forward to Spider-Ham and Scarlet Witch than I was to Immortal Hulk and Immortal Abomination. I'm still quite painfully disappointed about Immortal Hulk, man. Like when how many Hulks we must have in game before we get a good one, right? She-Hulk is the best Hulk, and I love She-Hulk, and I think she's great.
Red Hulk.
But an actual Hulk, like Hulk, right?
Hashtag Red Hulk.
He's a different guy. I mean, Bruce Banner, Hulk.
Well, last I checked, so is She-Hulk. It's not Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want.
Oh, okay.
Hulk.
You want Bruce Banner. Because I would think they may even go Amadeus Cho. They may go Amadeus Cho and add that Hulk in here.
Oh, Jesus. And that probably will be good, and I'll probably hate the fact that we don't have a single good Hulk.
You got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Be careful what you wish for, KTea. I know. That's all I'm saying.
So yeah, I don't know. Come on, really pissed me off with that one. Immortal
Yeah, I know.
Abomination
They
coming in
really hurt
really
all of
soon though,
us.
so I probably will try to grind for it, most likely.
Immortal Abomination?
Mm.
Which one are you gonna do? The first week or the second?
I'm not entirely sure because I'm working Monday to Thursday
Mm.
because we got like loads of deliveries, which I'm really
Yeah, but
annoyed
he's not
about.
gonna start. He's not gonna start till Thursday.
Yeah, so I might just try and go for the first one. Not 100% sure. We'll see.
I know. I was thinking about going the second one just because it'll be after Cyber Weekend, and because more people are gonna be in the game that week, so I think it could go for higher. But I'll at least know where I need to go.
Yeah, I might go
So
for
I don't
second
know.
one as well now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, you never know. We'll talk about it.
But yeah,
But
anyways, I think
that
that's
is
about
all.
it for this week's episode. We're gonna come back next week with more things to talk and discuss. Next week is obviously going to be past Cyber Weekend, so there's going to be a lot of things to talk about. All right?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe KT and I will discuss it. Maybe we'll do it on Cyber Friday or whatever if we're able to.
Yeah,
We could
but
talk.
we're definitely going to have another members exclusive. So this podcast so far is available only to Patreons and YouTube members. So huge thank you to everybody who are supporting the channel. And it will be available to all the regular subscribers or viewers a week later. So when
Yep.
everybody's talking about Cyber Weekend, they're going to be able to do this one. See, that's why it's important to actually catch these as they're coming out, because they are time sensitive. We will be discussing the ongoing things in the game right now, and if you catch them a week later, you still get to see it all, but it might not be as relevant, interesting, or important anymore. Therefore, the best way to watch
Yeah,
these is as they are being made.
definitely. Thank you guys for all your generous contributions day in and day out, the support of KT in the stream, and for having me be here with him. I appreciate how well you guys have all accepted me into the role of co-commentator slash chat helper slash a lot of other stuff. So I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure to have you, and
Thank you.
that will do for today. So see you guys.
Later on.